Well, good morning, everybody. We're going to do something a little different today. I'm going to install my Dish TV on the truck today. So what I've got to do is, this is the antenna. This is pretty big. And normally what it does, it's got the satellite receiver in it. And normally what it does is you would take and you would mount it way up at the top there, because this has to be above the truck. Problem with that is, this is a full-size truck. It's the tall is what they usually are. I think it's, I don't know, 11.3 or something like that. So the dish itself needs to be at least this needs to be above the cab. At least the white part does. There's a little gray part down here that is the base of it. So what I got to do is install that up there, but the trailer and the truck are the same height when they go down the road. So that would be sticking out above both the trailer and the truck here. Now, if this was a mid-roof truck, this wouldn't be a problem, but this isn't a mid-roof truck. It's a full-size truck. So what I've got is I'm going to devise a system that I can raise and lower that when I need it. So I've got a rail system. It's in the house right now. It's like precision machining rail, like if you were going to put like a router on and you want it to go straight. There's two bars and there's things that hold on to it, and it will slide this way. That way you can do good with your nice straight cuts with your router or saw or whatever it may be. So I'm going to mount those vertically up there at the top so that when I'm driving, the antenna can fall between the truck and the trailer. And then when I park at night, I can manually raise it up, and then it'll go above the truck and the trailer. Reason for it is, like, for instance, when I was in Chesapeake last week or the week before, you gotta go through the tunnels in Chesapeake Bay, and those tunnels are, you got 3 or 4 inches of clearance. That's about it above your truck when it's this tall. So this would hit the top of the tunnel, and a lot of bridges that I've gone under. So that's what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to show you the other half of the mount. This is already mounted on the mount that comes with these type of, it's already mounted on the bottom portion of it. We're going to go in the shop here and we're going to look at the other portion of it, and I'm going to cut the holes for the rails. So now we're in the shop here. So this is part of, this isn't, but this is the part of the mount that, this would actually mount to the truck. This would bolt straight to the back of the truck. And then you would take the part with the big dome and it comes out this way. And that's how it sits on the truck. This is the part I'm going to make move up and down. What I have, this is one of the blocks. I have 4 of these. There's bearings on the inside. A bar goes through the center and it sits, normally it would sit level and it would go this way and slide back and forth on these bars. But I'm going to mount them on the back of this. And then I'm going to put the bars through both, and that way it'll slide up and down. So I am notorious for, I have to make 4 holes similar to that in the back of this because the holes that are here do not match. And I am extremely notorious for not making these holes line up. No matter how many times I measure, how I do it, I've always got one hole off. It always seems to be the case for me. I don't know why. So what I did was I measured these out, and I got the precise measurements between each hole and how big the square is. And I have a plasma table behind us. There's my plasma table. We'll go slowly so nobody gets sick. And I decided to make a template. And that's what I did here. And if I take this, finally, and put it on there correctly, there. Then all my holes will actually line up perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this to the back of this and make sure that it's level. And then I'm going to use my laser cutter. That's my laser cutter. And I'm going to attempt to cut through this using the template. That way everything will line up right. So I'm going to put this on here, line it up, and then we'll attempt to make a cut and see what happens. This laser is quite dangerous. Within 4 feet of the gun, after I start shooting or displaying the laser, and this is the gun right here, this thing will burn pretty much about 4 feet away from the gun itself. It's a real fine line. I've cut quite a few things with this thing already. It's just fun to do. But what I will do is probably make a video on it, just showing the crazy things you can cut with this thing and how far away you can do that. But for now, we're going to cut this. All right, we're ready to give this a cut and see what happens. See if we can get this to do what we want it to. Hopefully the air compressor doesn't go off because it's literally right there. So we're going to start with this one. I mean, it is sort of cutting it. Cut that first hole nicely. Well, I can come through with the drill afterwards. That's what it's doing to the brick. Which is kind of cool. Well, it did cut my holes. As you can see, the first one cut nicely. The other ones really didn't cut very nicely. They did, but they didn't. I'm going to show you a little bit more of this laser real quick, because this thing is crazy nuts. Let me go somewhere where I can show you how this thing cuts. What I got here is this little piece of steel. And this is how quickly this thing slices through this stuff. That's how quickly that thing slices through. It's pretty crazy. If you can see on the floor here, if I just shot on the floor, you can see how, you know, I am, what, 3 or 4 feet away from that. If I shot that, well, that's going to stink. That's not a good idea. Woo. That wasn't good. Just to show you a little more power of it, this is a 2x4. Obviously, there's nothing on it. And I'm just gonna shoot it, and it's gonna go burn right through this 2x4. Done. I don't know how well you can see that, but that goes all the way through the 2x4. That's how quickly it does it, and how crazy dangerous this thing is. I can set the 2x4 on the floor. I'm standing at arm's length down. I mean, that's crazy. I'm gonna clean these holes up and get everything working with it. Well, we successfully made the holes. This is just ground down. This is what paint was on there. I kind of it had some kind of coating on it, I guess. So basically all I really had to do was re-drill the holes a little bit, and that was about it. And I got them in there too. So we'll get it up there in a little bit. So this is kind of the rail system. This is the one side that is on. It goes up there, and it connects at the top. And it's got these rails that ride along the pole, which I'll try to get under this side. And you can kind of see how it rolls up that way. And then when you do it, it rolls up quite nice. So that's the antenna that's going to go on it. So basically, this is the rail that goes up. These little things stick on the end. And then there's one at the top, one at the bottom. And this is what holds it to the truck. I just made a couple little rubber washers out of an old rubber mud flap that I had. I have another one here. It's going to go at the top. So then it's going to bolt up just like this one. And I'm going to roll it through these guides right there. And then hopefully, it'll start to work. So we'll come back to it. I'll get a better shot of it once I'm done with it without the ladder and stuff in the way. Well, that's the finished mount. And all it does is slides up those poles, goes up to the top. The satellite will come out above it. And then when I'm done with it and I want to drive, I just put it back down and it sits right there. Now I just got to figure out how I'm going to lock it in place when I'm not moving. And so next thing I'm going to do is mount that. And that's the dish thing installed. So kind of what happens is I only got one hand, so I can't really do it. But this pole that I got going up to it, all I do is push that up. And you can see that that's how it slides up the pole. It'll go all the way up to the top there. and then it'll stick up above the truck, and then I can actually get a dish signal just depending on how I'm parked or how I'm not. And then, so I just push the pole up, it'll slide up, it'll go up about, I don't know, 15 inches or so. And then I just block that little pole off so it stays there. And then when I'm done in the morning, I just undo it and it slides down. What I'm thinking about doing is getting an air actuated cylinder, since the whole truck runs on air. And I'm gonna mount it on there at some point. That way I can just flip a switch inside the truck and it'll activate the cylinder and just push it up itself. And then when I'm done with it, I just flip it off and it'll slide back down. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. But now I have Dish TV. Makes a big difference. This is another little thing I got for the truck. This is a visor. This is gonna go on the front of the truck. I didn't make this, I bought this. And I'm painting it the same color as the truck so that it will match. But what it'll do, let's walk over here. Gotta wash this thing. It'll sit up there where the lights are, and it'll cover half of the windshield. So, because you sit really low in these, at least I do. I sit low in the truck, and the sun coming in from the front will just blind you. And the sun visors do nothing, absolutely nothing. So, I can't install that myself. I was gonna try, but I decided not to. So I'm going to have somebody install it because it's going to take more. It takes a couple people to hold it down. And I cut extra holes because it came with these 3 holes. Which ones? This one, and this one. And then it came with that one over here and one on the other side. So then I cut 2 extra holes here. And then, of course, over here and over there. So that I could have a whole line of lights going across the top. And I used my laser cutter to do that too, and I created a little template on the plasma like I did the other one. Like I did my thing up there. So as soon as I get it finished painted, I still got to put another couple coats on it. Then I'll take it with me somewhere and have somebody install it. So I'm kind of waiting for a delivery this morning. I got something coming, so I can't leave until, it's supposed to be here between 9 and 1 o'clock. So in the meantime, I've got another part that I'm going to cut out from my truck, and I figured I'd bring you over to the plasma table, and then we can go through it and see the part and see if it actually fits. I cut it out once before already, but it did not. It fit, but it didn't quite fit. This is the part that you see right there. I've just loaded it. It's going to be cut right there. So one thing I got to do is I got to rotate it. That's the wrong button. Now rotate it 180 degrees. Whoops, that's not right. Let's re-rotate that. I'm gonna do it 90 degrees. There. It's gonna cut in this area here. It's not quite wide enough to cut from over here to over here. So I'm gonna turn the part, make it cut that direction. So let me get the rest of it set up and then you can watch it cut. So let's cut it and see what happens. So there's the part. Get this thing out of the way. I got some settings on this thing that aren't quite correct. I'm not sure exactly how to fix it. It's got an automatic torch height adjustment that's not working. And I gotta figure that out. So that there is the part. And I'm going to show you where it goes. So here's my part. And where the part is going to go, right in here. So what it's going to do is going to sit right here. Man, that's damn near perfect. I'm excited. Sorry, I'm in the way. So what it's going to do is fit right there, and then I'm going to build some shelving that goes in here. It's going to be a piece that goes in and sticks out a little bit, and I'm going to put a little bracket across the front so that when I want to, I can carry cans. I have cans of PB Blaster and WD-40 and stuff like that. Instead of sticking them in the side here, I can stick them right here. And I can stick other things in here too. But I think I gotta do a slight modification to it because that looks good, that looks good. So this is the box installed inside the truck after I got it all done, welded up. You can see it's in there. I built a little box that goes around it in the inside, and I can hold my stuff in it. So it works quite well. And I'm going to build one for the other side. I already built one for the other side, but accidentally did it upside down. So I got to recut some more stuff. But that's what it's for, and it kind of keeps the inside a little bit. Because these things will slide around. And if I don't have the caps on them like I always seem to lose, something to roll up against it and then just start shooting it. And then I'll lose it all. But I got a little, power steering fluid, starter fluid, and some PB Blaster and stuff in there. And I got some more stuff on the other side. But that's what the part was for. And I may actually make those and sell them out. I'm not sure yet. And then I just riveted them in. I should have recorded that part, but I didn't. But that's it.